Breaking news, Omaha's mayor unveils her $530 million budget plan for next year.
This just 2 days before state lawmakers are called back to fix Nebraska's property tax problem. Mayor Stothert warns lawmakers of unintended consequences for the city of Omaha. Brian Mastry is on your side with her concerns.
Aaron, we used to get these on budget day. Yeah, a 476-page doorstop. In this digital age, we now get the same information on a flash drive. Now, with 49 state lawmakers set to return to work at the Capitol in Lincoln in 2 days, Mayor Stothert doesn't understand why more attention hasn't been given to unintended consequences of capping property tax levies for local government.
Governor Pillen's Nebraska Plan Playbook says excessive spending by local governments is the root cause of the state's property tax problem rather than valuations. And I do disagree with the governor. The valuation system is the problem, and the city of Omaha does not overspend, and our annual budgets prove that.
Mayor Stothert says she supports property tax reform in general and lowering taxes for Omahans. She says 2/3 of the general fund, though, pays for public safety, police and fire protection, telling state lawmakers and the governor that she must ensure these services are not compromised with whatever plan comes out of the special session. Other pieces of the 2025 budget and capital improvement priorities include the mayor lowering the levy for the 5th time in 11 years. What does that mean? Well, someone with a $200,000 home, that amounts to a $30 savings. The mayor is concerned about police staffing, a problem most departments are seeing across the country. Omaha police are down 126 officers, or 15% of the force. She says while violent crime is at an all-time low, that can't last forever if the city doesn't start attracting more police officers. And this nugget, the mayor says PACE, after last year's public corruption scandal, has its house back in order to help kids with its sports and anti-gang message and getting $100,000 in funding. The mayor passed copies of the budget to all the council members after her speech. Public hearing set for the evening of August 13th. You can go through the budget and the highlights right now on WOWT.com. On your side, Brian Mastry, 6 News.